Hi, I'm Raylyn Worcester, and this is Spreading the Word. That's word with a capital W, as in the written word, the Bible, and the Word made flesh, Jesus Christ. I'm reading to you today from our compilation of articles called The Bigger Picture, which helps us take a look at everything that's going on in the world around us and really think deeper and realize what's going on behind the scenes. We've shed the light on a lot of what's going on and on the plan of the Illuminati to establish a one world order with Lucifer at the head of its government. Now, we are going to read to you the article entitled The New Norm, so you can see just how close to this goal we are getting. The new norm. Some of the concepts we put forth in the bigger picture seem so far-fetched, so outlandish, they couldn't possibly be true. But they are. Ask your grandparents if they ever thought they would see gasoline costing $5 a gallon, and they will tell you that in their day, that would have been so outlandish that the person predicting it would seem insane. Indeed, in 1913, gasoline cost 17 cents a gallon. Even as recently as 1966, milk cost $1.11 a gallon, and gasoline was only 32 cents a gallon. Yet last week, now keep in mind, I wrote this in 2015, when prices in my area dropped to $2.32 a gallon, I thought it was good and made plans to go fill my tank. By the way, today, it's over $4 a gallon in my area. How do you get a nation of people to not only accept the outlandish, but to think it's normal or even good? Slowly, methodically, little by little, bit by bit, they use a tool called incrementalism. With incrementalism, an outlandish, far-fetched goal is set. Then you convince the people to move just a bit off the mark in the direction of the goal. Just budge just a little bit off of the firm standard they've set for what they will and will not accept, usually with some strong motivation or provocation or justification that seems reasonable or appeals to one of their animal instincts. Yes, you're beginning to see this is based in usury. It is interesting to note here that the Greek word for sin used in the Bible is armentano, meaning to miss the mark. So the goal of incrementalism is to get a person to leave their conviction, their standard, their view of what is acceptable or right, and move, or sin, just a little bit in a way that can be justified toward the outlandish goal. You leave them in that new spot long enough for it to become comfortable, and they forget all about the previous mark where they once stood, or the conviction they once held, and the new position becomes their new normal. Then you entice them to move again, just a little bit, and the cycle repeats, and repeats, and repeats. It's like a gateway drug. No one sets out to be a drug addict. They smoke a little pot, which is now legal, so it must be harmless, right? To take the edge off and relax a bit after a particularly stressful day. Soon, it becomes comfortable and normal to smoke a little bit every day. Before long, they are smoking throughout the day. Then the day comes that for some reason the pot isn't readily available, but cocaine is. Just a tiny bit, they tell themselves, won't hurt. It's just a little more than what I was doing. How bad can it be? And before long, they've become a full-blown heroin addict. Ask the once responsible, hard-working businessman how he got here, and he'll shake his head and tell you he never would have thought it possible. In 1954, Playtex advertised the first undergarments on national television. They showed Jane Russell wearing the 18-hour bra. To adhere to FCC regulations for decency, she was required to wear a black turtleneck sweater under the bra so no cleavage would show. The commercial was still considered scandalous by some, and there was public opposition to it. What would those protesters think of today's Victoria's Secret runway commercial? Feminine protection, prophylactic, and sexual performance enhancement product advertisements. I'm sure they never would have imagined they would see such a thing. Yet here it is. Change never comes easy. There is always resistance. That's why incrementalism works so well. The change just slips in, comes so easily, slowly, that you almost don't recognize it happened until you look around and see that things are not the way they used to be. Our goal in the bigger picture is to get people to look around now, to look back and see where they once were and how far they've come and how they came to be where they are, to see where they're headed if they make no conscious effort to stop the progression. What is the most outlandish society I can picture? Men married to men, surgically transforming their bodies to look like women, and adopting children to make a family. Children encouraged to explore their own and each other's bodies, to have a healthy sexual awareness. 5-year-olds performing oral sex acts on other children on the school bus. Mind-altering drugs being commonplace. Readily available and legal. Millions of babies killed in the name of convenience. Children mandated to attend public schools where they are taught alternate versions of historical events, slanted to promote adherence to government and to groom them to become corporate patsies. Adults unable to get a job to support themselves unless they have a paper proving they've been properly indoctrinated first. No one able to afford private homes or cars, and being forced to live in condos and ride bikes instead. People who disagree with their government being labeled terrorists and being denied the right to defend themselves. But all of this is happening today. In fact, it's the new norm. I shudder to think what the next outlandish goal could possibly be. Perhaps a one-world government with Lucifer as its leader? How far are we off that mark now? How many increments away could this new goal be? And how many of us will think it's normal when that day arrives? Boy, that gives us something to think about, doesn't it? I don't know about you, but I don't like the new norm. If you're enjoying this series, please like, subscribe, and share. And in this way, you too can help spread the word. Thank you. God bless.